Hello everyone, I'm A2ZedHealth from A2ZedHealth. This video is about the use of fluoride in toothpaste and in many water supplies. The fluoride debate is something that has scientists, doctors and health professionals of all different kinds combating against the people of the world who still believe fluoride is a good thing. I'd like to start off by saying that water fluoridation is based upon fraudulent science, an issue that has been created out of secrecy and disguised as science. Fluoride is poison. First, I'll give you a quick run through of how this debate all came about. Then I'll talk about some things that we can do today to make a healthier future for ourselves. Okay, so first a little bit of history. Fluoride defenders will tell you that there's two stories. There's the industrial story and there's the dental story. Really, the two stories are intertwined, and there's really only one story. And you can base that on the underlying facts, or you can believe all the commercials and what the governments are paid to tell you. It seems that through the research that the very first suggestion to add fluoride to the water supply came in 1939 by a researcher called Gerald Cox. Cox became interested in fluoride because of a suggestion from Francis Frary, who was the director for the Aluminium Laboratory of America. Frary noticed that the fluoride coming out of the factory was affecting the workers, though his suggestion to Gerald Cox was to look at the effects of fluoride for dental purposes. Another scientist of the time, Gerald Hodge, who had a lot of respect in the medical world and also in the media, was helping a whole group of other scientists with the behind-the-scenes work on the atomic bomb of World War II. Hodge was the scientist who was in charge of investigating the toxicity of many chemicals that were put into the atomic bomb. One of the most toxic he found was fluoride, and large quantities of fluoride were needed to create the atomic bomb. Hodge was the scientist who said, "Fluoride is safe at 1 part per million." It's become quite a famous line, or if you like, infamous line. He said that fluoride is safe in the water supply to cover himself and the other scientists who were working on the atomic bomb. If it was found that fluoride was unsafe to use in the water supply, then Hodge's work and the behind-the-scenes working of chemical warfare would have been closed down. Gerald Hodge was also the man who was behind the human radiation experiments and responsible for allowing many doctors to inject patients with plutonium and uranium. Yet again, an example of a cover-up scheme is that the US Center of Disease Control lists fluoridation as one of the 10 greatest public health achievements of the 20th century. This is just nonsense. I mean, yes, it's on the list of achievements, though in regard to fluoride, all it's done is make people sick. The opposition to fluoride started with Dr. George Walbert. He was the first physician to warn against allergic reactions from penicillin and emphysema from smoking. He was one of the first to discover and document allergic reactions to fluoride. A whole wave of science and fluoride protest has come since then. Dr. Arvid Carlsson of Sweden, winner of the Nobel Prize for Medicine, said, "I would advise against fluoridation." Carlsson was awarded the Nobel Prize for his discovery of how brain cells transmit signals to each other, laying the groundwork for improved treatments and neurological psychiatric disorders. He said, "Fluoridation will harm people and is not considered a proper healthcare measure." The University of Toronto dental professor, Dr. Hardy Limeback, who was previously a supporter of fluoridation, is now Canada's most highly regarded opponent to fluoridation. Dr. Limeback says, Ingested fluoride is not greatly effective. Fluoridation leads to dental fluorosis. One fluoride study actually showed to increase the density of bone, though the same study showed an increase in fractures and disease. This is because fluoride causes horrible disruptions to the functioning of bone. Bones are living things. It's totally crazy to be mixing anything living with something so toxic. In America, the USDA has put a warning on toothpaste saying keep out of reach of children under the age of 6. This means that they know in modern days, they know that it's a toxic material. They know it's not good for you, though they still put it in the toothpaste and in the water supply. I don't get it. Another thing on the label says, apply a pea-sized amount and contact a poison control center if you swallow. Well, did you know that a 250 ml glass of water has the same amount of fluoride as a pea-sized amount that they're telling you about? Well, they don't have signs on tap saying, if you drink a glass of this water, contact a poison control center, do they? I mean, it's as silly as that. They're putting the same amount of fluoride in water that they put in toothpaste. But if you swallow the toothpaste, it's toxic. But if you swallow the water, it's fine, because it's meant to be there. Rubbish. So we need to get this stuff out of toothpaste and out of the water supplies worldwide. And the only way to do that is if everyone gets together and speaks up about this situation. One tube of toothpaste should last you several years, although most people finish their toothpaste in a few months. Here is what you see in the advertisements. That's that one big glob of stuff that you see in the advertisements, right, on the toothpaste. Okay, that's a month's worth of brushing morning and night. Okay, that's what you see in the advertisements. That's to get rid of the toothpaste as soon as possible so that you'll buy another one. So that's that one. And here's your pea-sized amount right at the end of the toothbrush. Okay, so you've got that big glob there. And then you've got this tiny, hard to see, this tiny pea-sized amount there right at the end of the brush. Okay? That's the difference. Alright, that little bit on the end of the brush should last you several years. Okay? We don't even need fluoride in the toothpaste. Though if you insist on using fluoridated toothpaste, then that's what I would suggest. Okay, there's toothpaste that you can buy that is non-fluoridated, natural organic toothpaste, non-fluoridated toothpaste, and your teeth will be fine. Eating less sugar is going to cause less cavities, but the whole sugar story is whole nother video. A lot of people may not realize that one shower will absorb the same amount of fluoride and chlorine in your skin that you can drink in 3 days worth of drinking tap water. So when it comes to filtering your water, it's your shower head that needs the priority. So if you're going to put money in towards filtering your water, filter the shower water first and then your drinking water. Okay, the alternative to filtering your drinking water is buying a trusted brand of water, which is what I'm doing at the moment. This is the brand that I'm using from the store. It's backwards in the camera, but it's called Puro water. It's fluoride free and chlorine free. I haven't mentioned chlorine yet, by the way. Chlorine is a known oxidizing agent and cancer-causing agent. It's disease-ridden. It's put in the water to kill a lot of bugs, except by the time it gets to our stomachs, it should have the chlorine removed beforehand, you know. Before we drink it, the chlorine shouldn't be there. So it either needs to be filtered out or not there in the first place. In Europe, they have a system called ozone, and that's healthy for our systems. We can handle ozone, but ozone takes out a lot of the bugs and bacteria. A lot of people ask about boiling water. Boiling water in an industrialized country that has fluoride and chlorine in it generally won't have bugs in it, so there's no point boiling it. A lot of people drink bottled water. Problem with that is that when the plastic heats up, the chemicals from the plastic go into the water. So the correct way to carry your water is in a glass or stainless steel bottle. Next thing is, I'd like to make you all aware of a great website that will give you a lot of information and understanding about the subject on a broader sense if you want to find out more information. It's the Fluoride Action Network, and the address is www.fluoridealert.org. Great website, contains the 3,000 doctors, scientists and health professionals that are all against fluoride. Fluoride kills your brain, destroys your bones and teeth, and causes cancer. So I guess fluoride's a really great thing, yeah? If you're not convinced that fluoride is a really bad thing from this video, then I suggest you read The Fluoride Deception by Christopher Bryson, or go to the website that I told you about. I'm Adam Zaks. This is A2ZedHealth, guiding you, pushing you, and moving you through to ultimate health.